Welcome everyone. It's time for us to have a bit of a look at Windy Meadow, a Roadwarden tale, a game about, let's say, a slice of life in the life of a young woman in a quiet village and her sort of life story, I suppose. So this is part of a sort of universe. I suppose it is the Roadwarden universe. There's a game called Roadwarden, which is sort of a text-based RPG, and this is still a text-based RPG, but more like a graphic novel sort of a thing, because we will have like characters that are talking to each other, etc., etc. We're going to be making choices, and some of those choices might matter. And that's about all I know about that universe. So this is Windy Meadow, and what I kind of like about this is that this is the title screen. So we have, first of all, the title, or rather the name of the village. We can read about it. Windy Meadow started as a woodcutting hamlet, soon followed by the construction of the stone watchtower, and then the now-gone roadside inn. 4 generations ago, the first settlers arrived, slowly but surely taming this gentle area. The village is protected by and loyal to the city of Veritas, and produces crops, wool, parchment, and mead. It's known for its vast forest garden at the western bank and for its unusually sweet apples. Lovely. And then what we can do, again on the title screen, we can just check stuff. So this is the hut for the field workers. This is the house of Victus, who's the eldest son of the huntress. Then we have a renovated summer residence for rich city folk. We have a workshop and house of Caller the blacksmith, etc., etc. We can just check a bunch of stuff. There's stuff in the forest. The border between the southern edge of our forest garden and the wildwoods is blurry. We rely on the rituals of our herbalists to keep it somewhat safe. And then we have over here, thanks to the city's protection, the eastern woods are quite safe. Still, every now and then a wild beast manages to get one of us, which is very sad. We have some ponds, we have a pasture, we have stuff over here. I think we can check the river, the shining stream. There's just a whole bunch of stuff you can just read about. A distant pond as well, shallow and clean. We're not going to read up on all of it, but basically this is a cool introduction to the game, I think. So yeah, let's start off a new game and have a bit of a look. Last evening. And yes, indeed, this is going to be one of those games where I'm going to be reading a whole lot. Also, we can do some stuff while we're in this menu. We can check the map, so now we know we are in the Tasty Claw Inn. It is my favorite spot in the village, clean, warm, and smelling of fresh fruits. It's slow in the daytime, but busy during evenings and rainfalls. My sister Lida works here for Stabilus the innkeep. So we are currently this lovely lady here, Bella, I think, and presumably... who's our sister? I mean, that would be the Stabilus, potentially. I don't know. Nalia is talking. Nalia would be, yes, the woman here. And that is indeed Stabilus, which is a lovely name. The news of Vena's deeds have reached the city. Vena, that's me. The merchants want to hire her. Deeds, I don't recall. But I told you already, what a loud bunch. I think I'll take the bottle back home. What is this new man? He's trying to be very friendly to this old nagging woman. And this is me. It's been an hour since you joined the merchants at the table. Keeping your back straight for long starts to wear on you, but you were told only to speak when spoken to. You observe the others, but you can't follow their prattle. Something about a missing ship from the Far East and a new spice that everyone just needs to try, even though it's as expensive as a sheep. They summarized how you defeated those trolls from last autumn right at the start, but since then they've been pretty much ignoring you. And then we can start making some choices. I could say that I'd rather hang out with friends. I am gonna say that the longer I'm here, easier it's gonna get. And apparently I can also wonder if they treat their employees this way. And I'm gonna assume that yes, presumably they do. So in Windy Meadow, all of your neighbors are friends, or at least friendly. Here, there's a ravine between you and the rich folk. And this is Evalo, which is the lovely purple lad. So, Vena, how's your beer? Cast a glance at your dad, who manages to stay in control, as always. Why can't you be that confident? So my dad is a hero, bloody hero, that guy. The best hunter in the realm, no matter what anyone says. And I can say that the beer is fantastic, or that I prefer some cider. And yes, obviously I prefer some cider. I'd rather have some cider, to be frank. You don't have to be frank, you're Vena. You couldn't say that sooner. You better learn how to speak for yourself before you reach the city. And the city would be Veritas. I don't know if that's how it's pronounced, but I'm gonna call it Veritas. Veritas offers everything one may desire. Alehouses, mead, spices, music, acrobats, gambling, fancy clothes, bright nights. It's a different world. Well, we'll see about that. And obviously we also have La Certa here. Oh, actually, yes, we could have read about the other people as well. This is our mayor, apparently. She's a good friend to my father, though they usually talk about trade and work, one of their plans for the next season. She was raised in Windymeadow, but spent over a decade in the city working as a clerk for the Merchants Guild. So don't encourage her. It's better to drink crappy beer than to insult the merchant over there. And she's just being polite, evil. So this is Argentia sitting here. Our richest merchants to visit Windy Meadow. She leads caravans through the woods, fighting peace with the magic of wind and light. She's offered me a job in the city. Cool. Your girl has potential, Lacho. She follows in your footsteps. And my father goes, by the way, looking very young, gotta say. Kind words, but you'd struggle to find a hunter who could match her talent, and she's not even 20. Leading the trolls into the swamp was quite a plan, says Evilo, or Fable, which is, ever since I started assisting my father, Fable and I have been drifting apart, but we used to spend a lot of time together as kids, so presumably brother or friend. I don't know. He always had some scary and funny story for us. He used to say he saw them in his dreams. Yeah, well, he just said our Fable. So obviously, yes, your son. Our Fable put together a song about her bravery. Well, that's lovely. Our Fable? Oh, so you're basically together then. You've grown quite comfortable with your new home. Or do you mean our Fable as in a Fable that lives here? I'm not 100% sure. Maybe, in a way. Let's not jump ahead. Nothing's been decided yet, but it's a great opportunity. Don't you want to leave the nest, darling? Well, I mean, I don't necessarily know. Okay, you know what? Let's be confident about this. I'd love to. I shall think about it after you tell us your offer, says my father. So Argentia knows the details, but from what I've heard, the guild in Bertus can reward Vena's talents generously. It's not that intricate. We can always find a job for a gifted warrior. What kind of a job, says me, with a smile on my face. You start as a guard at a store or maybe a warehouse, learn more about the city, then become my personal defender. Prove yourself, and once they get the chance, I'll whisper your name to the larger players. Cool. All you need is strength and ambition. Keep going the extra mile and you'll end up as a commander or overseeing our caravans and ships. You could work as a roadwarden for a year or 5 too. There's the word. Cool. And if all goes, a life of wealth and adventure, then a quick retirement. Lovely. Hopefully not by death. Especially if you were to join the guild as an investor. As you can see, such a life has treated us fairly well, says Lacerta. And don't tell me it's not a tempting opportunity. Alright then, well, I could say that the village is everything I need, and it can be rough in the city. And then people here need me. I mean, none of these is very confident. Like, none of them is actually confident. I suppose living in the city can be rough, though. And yes, indeed, some city folk hate their home. Evolo moved here, right? The rest from the noise and stench. And he's rich. Well, I'm the exception, not the rule, says Evolo. If I were in your position, I'd not only refuse this invitation, I'd also hide my spear in a basement and drop this hunting business altogether. I'd rather be a farmer. That's interesting. But I already had a life of luxury and worries, just like my parents before me, and they flourished in it. My dream was to live away from all that commotion. Lucky to get a chance to do so, most people won't. But you are not a quiet, frightened weakling like I was when I was your age. You can handle living in Veritas. Don't be so dramatic, says Argentia. Living behind the city walls is much easier than in the countryside. At least our food doesn't try to eat us first. Well, it tried to eat someone. You just reaped the benefits of someone already killing it. Alright then, well, I don't necessarily think that the village has everything I need, necessarily. Or neither that the people need me, do they? I mean, I could say that the village has everything I need, I suppose. So Windymeadows is a peaceful place, there's food, meat, and work to do. Why would I leave all of this behind exactly? So one day you may wake up and realize that you're bored. You crave more than your home has to offer. Journeys, mead, friendships. Better hope it won't be too late for you already. I used to be in exactly the same position, you know. A young sorceress, appreciated for her talent with many open doors. I kept asking myself, what do I really want? And I found the answer. I wanted it all. All the best things that coin can buy. I kinda like you. You're very straightforward. I spent each free moment mastering the spells of wind and light, working with adventurers, dealing with beasts. Once I came to the city, I had a reputation to my name. And I knew my worth. I reached for the very top, assisted the guilds, caravans taking the most dangerous routes, until I could look the guild masters in the eye and demand what I wanted, and they couldn't refuse. So exactly what it is that you got? Not 100% sure. Evola says the sounds of a trader luring someone into taking a deal. How I don't miss it. And I don't mind listening to a master speaking about their craft, says Lazarda. Alright then, let the people talk. So my father, so Argentia, you're gonna visit us again in 15 days, am I right? With the wedding supplies? Looks like it. I won't be traveling in this direction again until the end of summer. So that's when we'll give you our final answer. We'll use a ferryboat or will you use a ferryboat or a cart? I have yet to decide apparently. Just be sure to have space for a passenger deal. I'll figure something out like always, don't you worry. Alright then, lovely. Move into the next day, or rather, well, day one. That was sort of the prologue, I suppose. So now we are out in the woods, me and my father. There's an owl here, lovely. And those vines around the trees, those are some big vines. So you are apparently growing on rocks, which is also interesting. So we can again check the map. We can now see that we are up here. So the woods in the east turn dangerous quickly, and for the most part, only me and my dad have a reason to enter them. Recently, the lumberjacks have started to widen their clearings, letting in a bit of light. So, my father goes, I'm a patient soul, but we're gonna discuss your future sooner or later, pup. Well, I might need a bit more time. I need time to think, that's all, and there is no rush. But there is, apparently. So taking Argentia's offer would take some planning. You'll need new clothes, a traveling chest, a blanket, and we should visit your cousins. That's another one-day trip. Why do we need to visit my cousins? I don't know. And I'm sure your mother will sleep better knowing what to expect. So that Preddy is a master of crossbows and traps. It hurt me to see how her illness keeps her in bed. It's been 3 years already. She may never be strong enough to return to the wilderness. So something has happened to my mother, Preddy. We'll see if we know, or if we are going to know more about that later. And well, I might not necessarily know what I want. I don't know what I want. That's the problem. You don't need to know how you don't need to know to make a good choice, says father. After he, and then he sharpens his spear. Or not, actually. The knot you used here ain't right. Once you lose control of the spearhead, the beast will break your neck in an instant. Just use the one I taught you, little wolf. Well, alright then, fine. Your knot is a bit awkward though, Dad. I got my own way of doing things. I don't like that knot. It's thick. It takes too many steps. Bandits would cut it with a single swipe. Spears are for hunters, not soldiers. You want to face bandits, start training with a bow or a mace. You're too old for a sword. Anyway, too old? What do you mean too old? I'm not even 20. How can I be too old for a sword? I'm too tired to carry or prey now. Let's have a talk. Right, what about the scavengers? The runners will catch the scent soon. And it's so quiet here, says father. It may be spring, but we should have at least seen a few larger beasts by now. Oh, you want us to stay here for long? I've got plans for the evening. Do you now? Well, then I guess you're too busy, but since I caught your attention... I'll listen to you. Don't be like that, I always listen to you. Well, let's discuss what's going on. The trolls. When did they show up? First day of autumn, apparently. That's when old Salvia warned me that they never stopped their hunt, and old Salvia would be a wise and selfless herbalist. Every 10 days, the village prepares gift baskets for her, and will sometimes bring fresh meals as well. She may not be too kind, but she's irreplaceable. I hope Eudicia. Okay, Eudicia does her best learning. Her craft. So Eudicia would be like the apprentice of this old woman. Cool. And can turn the land into a wasteland. I'm glad you remember. The way you took care of them was impressive, don't get me wrong, but now I've grown more and more convinced that even that was too late. They chased the forest already, you say? Well, last year we used to simply leave the house and look for wild game. Now we're forced to set traps, use bait, look for rats and squirrels. Well, at least there are more hares around. But the larger creatures were either caught or chased away by the trolls. Well, I mean, fewer bees mean more rats and birds, so fewer mushrooms, nuts, fruits, and flies. And Limos told me there are more fish in the stream. And Limo would be a fisherman, right? He has a peg leg as well, lovely. Before he started using nets, traps, and fishing rods to catch food in the rivers, he was using spears and bows to hunt for saurians and marshfish, whatever saurians are. His zeal has been weakened ever since he lost his foot, but his new methods turn out to be more efficient anyway. Everything connects, apparently. You know where I'm going with this. Okay, well, just tell me, bloody damn it. I don't want to guess, just tell me. The forest is weak. We'll leave animals alone and let them breed on our ground for at least a year. The forest needs some new breath. I mean, that's basically just a domestication of animals. You should do that instead of hunting. Just bring them in and have them in your pasture, which you already have, by the way. Just have more pastures, damn it. But what about our forest garden? Should we open it to the predators? I had a talk with Eudicia, we can read about her, old Salvia's pupil. A few years after her birth, her parents lost their flock of sheep to a plague. They had to look after the younger child, Firma, and since Eudicia's always been the weird kid, they asked Salvia to take her. Her eyes may be absent, but without her help I'd have lost my eye to a werebadger. Ooh, a werebadger. I'm happy to prepare our gift baskets for her. So we'll limit ourselves to startling them instead of killing them. The garden is crucial for us, more important than any wild game. But we ate some armed numbskulls. A good hunter can do many things, and Lacerta would allow us to join the guards for a few seasons. I won't spend my days sitting in the inn. So we're gonna be fine. There's one more obstacle, but that's enough loitering around. Let's put out our more while it's still sunny. Alright then, fair enough. And here we go. It's a tiresome task. The ropes are secured and one of the trees stopping the board from falling. To pull it out, you have to fight for every inch. And there we go. There's a big old boar. Holy shit, it's heavy. I do enjoy that one. All of the stuff is just holy shit. Bit out of character, not gonna lie. Language, yes, language. No, don't say holy shit. Still, it's all muscle. A fine beast to end our current path well. Will it taste good after smoking? I ain't sure. Boar meat can be treacherous. But now let's pray. Of course, apparently. So praise to the right for the years we received, for the walls that guard us, for our strong limbs and sharp senses, and the gentle weather. We humbly welcome the tastes of your creations. So the right. I'm glad that Dad finds comfort in his talks with the priest, but I struggle to pray. Whenever I close my eyes, I think of Victus, Inmera, and Mom. So that's a nothing about the right. So, okay, sure. Help us spread your meat wisely in our family. Oh, and among our friends. And help us sell the tusks and bones to the city folk. Share what you give us with Vates, your servant, to prove to you that we're ready to leave everything behind if such is your will. So what's Vates? Once a Roadwarden and now a priest. He used to patrol the pass connecting Windymeadow with other villages. Folks say he was rather cruel in his trade. My father sees him as a guide, but somehow Vates doesn't try to shove his faith down my throat. I appreciate that. Yes, that's a good priest. So be it. Alright then, fine, I'll play along for now. So be it, I say as well, not holding my hands together though. I wish I could pray as gracefully as the priest, shameful being a soul of simple words. Well, you're just a hunter after all, you're doing a bang-up job with that. Don't worry, it's about having an honest heart, right? I guess. But remember how my father started to forget words and names once his hair got grey until he lost the gift of speech? Our family ought to squeeze out everything we can with each year we get. Now, before we head back home, take a look here. About what? A smooth stick with blood on its end? It's a spear. A goblin found the thin branch and sharpened it with a rock. After all, no undead would have a reason to attack a wild beast. No other creature would wield a weapon in combat, so bit of confirmation that we do live in some sort of supernatural situation here. We have goblins, we have undead, apparently. So it came here to stab the boar. Touch the blood, it's fresh. Goblins found the boar after it fell in the hole. They tried to jab it, but it didn't stick around. The grass here is trampled, but I see no footprints. Interesting. They could be slim from hunger, and that means desperate? I'm proud of you, little wolf. You do just fine in the city. Well, okay, but goblins are bad news. The best case scenario, they're gonna keep our tribe away from the woods, but who can be sure they won't attack the farmers or snatch our kids over the wall? We'll sit back and warn the workers, and this monster will fill up a whole wagon. We've got a long day ahead. Lovely, let's walk on out of here. And it's evening. Lovely. The third, maybe the second largest game we've ever caught. Wonder how it got here. Now we can again check the map. We are currently in the sort of town square-ish, I suppose. So I can come to the square whenever anything unusual occurs, or there's nothing better to do. So basically quite often. Alright then, we are here with someone. That would be Hostia, my youngest sister, apparently. People gossip about her antics, but when I'm with her, she's thoughtful and quiet. Oh, shoot, that was wrong, but go back. Yeah, you can get your sort of history there if you want it. She wants to be huntress, but for some reason, I'm the one she keeps asking for advice. She should spend more time with our dad. Good thing you didn't have to fight it. Absolutely, we wouldn't attack it even if we got the chance. Not without old Salvia's blinding dust. But Dad used to fight such monsters when I was still little. Well, that's because Mom was at his side. She'd hit a charging beast right in the eye. She'll show you once she starts walking again. Whenever that happens. If it happens. So what's all this about a goblin tribe you found? Well, we didn't really find a tribe, we just found the markings of potential goblins. Indeed, just the marks and footprints. Victus told me they were just big, cunning monkeys. And Victus is my older brother who never wanted to be a hunter, but the training he got from our parents allowed him to become a village guard. Now he's Ivolo's defender, moving forward despite the trouble he's gone through. Gotta say, I love that jacket. Big old thing. Alright then, to me, they're small, furry people on paws. Well, yes, that's basically true. And also about the supernatural thing, yes, we already knew about trolls, so yes. Can they be lured into a trap, or will you scare them away like you did with the trolls? Well, that's got a plan, he knows what he's doing. Well, that's good at least. So, will you get rid of them before you leave us? Aww, poor sister doesn't want me to leave. I'm not leaving, I mean, I will be back to visit. I ain't gonna leave you. I visit you each spring. Always thought you'd be here to see me on my first hunt. Well, we'll see when that happens. Well, I mean, me too, I suppose. I do want to be here, you know I would. Okay, and I could say that I may stay for good, but presumably I won't. I still will protect you, though, when I can. So don't worry, I'll protect you. We'll find a way to get rid of them. So I ain't afraid. I want to help you. Well, the tribe's gonna stand together. We lack magic, yet we're able to outsmart the trolls. We can handle some goblins. Alright then, and then not gonna say anything about staying in Windymeadow for good, I don't think. So, goblins, gargoyles, dragons, oh, bloody hell, there's dragons as well. Won't hide in the stronghold like some old lady, no matter what's coming for us. I'm a better fighter than most folks here. A spear woman, lovely. A spear girl, maybe. Well, that's a bit sassy. Still, it ain't your call. Dad or Lacerta will ask you once they need your help. Did I read about her, by the way? Yeah, that was the mayor. Yes. But I'm ready to fight. Just need a chance to prove it, says my sister here. Well, listen to Dad is what I'm gonna say. You've got to listen to Dad. When we face trouble, we need to follow orders, all of us. To which she doesn't really reply, because obviously that was the wrong things to say in some way. It hurts to wait, but patience is the hunter's sharpest weapon. That is also very, very true. think of it as part of your training. Is she gonna buy that? Possibly. I'm happy for you, you know, she says. How come? You got this job offer, you're gonna be rich. I don't even know what I want. Well, you want to be a hunter, you said it yourself. Being rich doesn't mean much to me, I think, but all the merchants say Veritas is a busy place with soft beds, all sorts of foods and drinks and colors and loud streets and all these bards and acrobats. It's a lovely place. And Meadow, I mean, it's always the same. Oats with milk, some cider, cold winters, no music, no young men to have a walk with. Oh, there we go. There's the romance, or the desire for romance. I'd like to have a taste of the city for a season or two, but to spend years there, I don't know. Distant grass is always greener. So can't you take the job and bail after you get sick of it? I mean, it would be wrong. I don't want to quit unless necessary. Can't play with our tribe's good name. I mean, that's presumably true as well. I don't want you to be bored, but, well, yeah, I miss you too, little sister. Aw, lovely. Alright then, a bit of a nice chat with her, as always. Perfect. So let's move on to day 2. There we go. So what's up now then? Well, there is a bang on the door. It's us banging on, like, the guardhouse, I presume. Where are we? We are Stronghold. The Stronghold's a few decades old, but it's the safest spot in the village. We'll take a dragon or a unicorn to get through it. Why would a unicorn try to go through its walls? What are unicorns in this game? Intriguing. Alright, muffled voices reach you from inside. We have Perega. Who's that? While my dad and I roam the woods, the city soldiers patrol the walls and look after the stronghold. Perega enjoys chatting with our neighbors. It's the first village she's ever visited. Okay, so why don't we get a look of them? I don't know. Now we have Firma, guard born and raised in our village. She's a tough warrior, my favorite training partner. She doesn't like to admit that she helped me trick the trolls into leaving our woods, mainly because she wet herself when one of them almost caught her. Still, she was by my side to the very end. Why me? Just open the door. I ain't a recruit, says she. Are you sure you want to argue with us after you dropped your helmet in the river? Oh, poor her. Poor Firma. And then we have Brackus. That was... we had that name, I think. Potentially. Never mind. Answer the bloody door before we cut your pay for the equipment you've borrowed from us. Oh, bloody hell, poor people. So, hello, there's Firma. Hello, gals. Something wrong, she says. Well, not sure yet, but we should talk. Tell me you don't need me to look for that lost ring again. Well, it's our dad, apparently. We're here in Latro's name, our father. He's examining the forest right now. Okay, come. We've got time for you. Lovely. Let's step inside. Oh, I do like that it just transitioned into the indoors without actually changing like size or anything. That's kind of nifty. So Vena and Hostia, says Perega. There's Perega. Yeah, okay, so that's like the guard outfit then, presumably. That's us. I expect the mayor has briefed you already, and only mentioned that we are to prepare the village for the furry shitheads, says Brackus. Alright, furry shitheads, lovely. So, ever fought a tribe of goblins, asks me. Well, Perega, me, not really, but there are lectures on all kinds of beasts in the city. And Firma says it ain't like they're trolls, nothing to worry about. Well, unless there's 100 of them, says me, they climb well and can't get past the wall. And it won't be easy to hire a mage to help us. Well, I mean, we have the sorceress. Couldn't she help us? I mean, she's here right now, I think. Maybe. Or actually, she might have left now. So let's think. We got the 3 of us, and you, Vena, and your father. Would your brother join us? That would be, yes, the guard. I mean, what did you know? Well, actually, no, he's not with the sort of the guard here. He's a personal guard. Well, sure he would, my sister says. Well, Victor is a bit busy, but he'll help us. Priest waits too, and maybe we could ask the lumberjacks. Okay, there's a lumberjack. Our mayor allows the city workers to cut our trees. They need to do it slowly, otherwise they'll anger the beasts. Sure. So you mean pay the lumberjacks, says Perega. That's hardly enough, and I doubt we'd get much use from arming the rest of the village with spears. Have you learned anything about these goblins' weaknesses? I mean, we got fire, if nothing else. Yes, fire always works. Well, not much to go with, is it? Better prepare the stronghold for the elders and kids. Sure. Bringing in the medicine first from storage is easy enough, but we'll need help with collecting water and food. So what about, says my sister? She's not getting a word in edgewise. Poor sister. So much to discuss, says me. Especially if we're to mobilize our neighbors. The mayor wouldn't skip on a few more shields, would she? Well, we're in for a boring afternoon. Let's grab some shares. Alright then, let's do that. And finally, some fresh air. I'll leave the door open, says Firma. Is it just me or do you get bolder when the soldiers are around? Well, oh, bloody hell, there's actually a bit of animation there. Haven't really seen that before, I think. Not that I've got a choice, says Firma. They're not the best friends or anything, but they say that I could join them once they head back to the city. They recommend it to their commander, I think they're called. Yes, commanders are a thing. So what are you going to do? Sounds like a big opportunity. Will you accept it? Nah, that's not for me. I won't leave my parents, and I ain't gonna get my belly torn apart in the middle of nowhere. As long as I got my bowl full, I don't care about dragons. Yes, that's what we call the coins we use. Oh. Ah. Well, dragons on this occasion is the coins, large rings made of dragon bones. Well, okay, there are dragons, yes. We're useful for trading with the city merchants. Yes, that's what coins are for. Good job. Well, though getting noticed was nice. Yes, it always is nice to be noticed. I'm sure it was. Alright then. Well, it's getting late. See you soon. Good luck, says Firma. Come on, sister. Are you going? Why even bring me with you if I've got nothing worth saying? Yes, I'm sorry you didn't get to say anything. It's very sad. Well, indeed, we had really no time to waste. But yes, what is it that you wanted to say? I'm really sorry. Forgive me. Next time, I'll give you the time to speak. And who's this then? It's Lida. So that is my also younger sister, but only a year younger. We're basically strangers, apparently. Like she called me it doesn't matter, but I think this time she meant it. I don't understand what it divides us. Okay, well, she seems to be slightly more humble in appearance than me. I, a true-born warrior. So still here. Father is waiting for you. What's wrong? Well, we're having a family dinner. Victus is taking in Mera, which is Victus' daughter, my niece. So wait, this... Ah, my older brother actually has a daughter. Okay, fine. She's been asleep for a few months now. Okay. I used to love wandering around the wall with her, telling her about the woods. She looks to sit with my dagger in her small house. Why has she been asleep for a few months? Bloody hell. Oh, again, don't right-click. Alright then, looking for a healer apparently for that. So Olsavia can't help her. That's what Victus says. Sell, I'm sorry, pet. Well, any news about the goblins? Kind of, but let it go for now. We shouldn't burden Victus with this. So Dad found them. How many then? At least 30. They're still in a cave, not that far from here. We're screwed. I mean, surely we're more than 30 ourselves. So what about you in the work today? Apparently, my youngest sister would ask. Stabilis can survive for a few hours on its own. Yes, okay, you're the one that works in the inn, yes. So I need some rest anyway. I have to prepare the entire dinner for you, too. Well, I mean, we also have work, you bastard. What we're doing ain't easy. The better our plans, the safer we are. So heroic of you. I mean... when the goblins come, you're gonna be happy, so screw you. So just saying, it'd be helpful if you could get home today without me having to give you a ride in a wheelbarrow. Presumably that has happened at some point, yes. Lovely. Alright, we are home in our humble home. So be it. My dad has been doing the prayers. And where do we live? We live in this home. When I was little, my parents sold all of their possessions to build their new house from bricks instead of wood or wattle. We keep placing traps around it, teaching bees to stay away from this side of the village. Why would we do that? We're not like even in the woods. Wouldn't people step in those traps? That seems kind of dangerous. Well, alright then. Everyone says so be it. So much fresh meat. Where were we starving or what? So this day's the services. The board was large enough to grant us a feast, and we'll share the leftovers with Relica. So Relica, a farmer that lives next to us. So that would be over here potentially. Can I not? Oh, now we can't actually check this, but it's probably here then, maybe. Okay, the board was large enough, yes indeed. I actually want to read about it, but never mind. I guess a bottle of spiced meat from Castus, Mida's husband, maybe the wealthiest farmer in the village, but welcomes everyone with a smile. He spends many evenings in Tasty Claw chatting with my father. So can I have some, says Hostia. Ain't it hilarious how Victus can simply decide to leave for the city once he sees he needs it, while Vena sits on the fence for half a season. You bastard. You're too old for petty squabbles. Yes, you tell her, Dad. Just saying, at least she was kind enough to join us instead of stuffing her stuff at the inn again. Okay, know your place, woman. I don't even drink that much. Pay attention to other clients instead of staring at me like a hawk. There we go. I was talking to both of you, says father. Well, okay, fine, whatever. I said, can I have some meat too, says Hostia. Aren't you a bit young? In 2 years, little wolf. Are you calling her little wolf as well? I'm also little wolf. Wouldn't she be like little wolf cub or something? Damn it, Dad. Oh, well, that's an impressive, impressive beard. Bloody hell. Alright then. So, let's have a talk, says Victus, before we drink anything. Inmera needs help, but I can't leave you with the goblins lurking around the corner. Yeah, we could use a bit of help there. What did old Salvia say? Can't she help us? Well, Eudicia, that's her, Eudicia, told me that both herbalists have run out of ideas. Soon, Init's shell won't be able to swallow food, and that is just his shorthand for that. Her shell. That's interesting. So she's asleep, and he's calling her body her shell. For some reason. Interesting. Alright, while I'm grateful for your prayers, I can no longer wait for a miracle. You should still go to Salvia for Eudi. Okay, that's her short name, or nickname. Everything is dark and hopeless, apparently. I'm sure they discussed it together. And she's rude and weird, says Hostia. So, she's also smart. I mean, that is right here. We're not asking her to be nice, we ought to respect her and work as a team. Thank you, Vena. Yes, sometimes you just need to swallow your medicine and move forward. Speaking of medicine, says Victus. Ah, right. Pup, you have your own set of responsibilities now. A child that's defenseless without you. Did you just call him a pup? I mean, you basically look the same age, but sure. And what about the monsters? Well, it was all a false alarm. I got spooked by 5, maybe 8 hungry apes. We'll handle them, Vena and I. Finally, some good news, but are you sure you don't need my help? Well, help me by bringing back my granddaughter. When can you leave? So Voldo wants to hire the lumberjacks to escort us. If the right allows it, we'll hit the road tomorrow just before noon. Do I get the same text here? Yes, apparently. Alright then, interesting. Everyone's happy, hopefully. Dad lied to him. Yes, he did. It wasn't just like 8 apes, it's 30 damn goblins. But Dad really wants him to go, so yes. But what if he needs his help? Victus has got the right to decide what to do. So, alright. Follow Dad or be honest. No. We're gonna be honest, damn it. Dad, you told Lida that his goblin tribe is huge. Shouldn't Victus stay? It's dangerous to split up. Oh, he's very sad now. Is this true? Asks Victus. Son, well, I can't just leave you with those beasts. Well done, Vena, you did it again, says Lida. Well, shut up, woman. But we need to stick together. Let's take Ini and old Sabia instead, says Hostia. Or Hostia. Silence, all of you, slams my father. You got to go. I do the same for any of you, he says to Victus. The healers from the city couldn't have Mom. Even if the right does guide them to help in Mera, do you want me to bring her back to a pile of ashes? Gonna be, I say, shut up, you've said enough already, now my dad's not as happy with me. Well, that's fine, but Dad, leave this to the adults, sweetie, go to your mother. Well, I mean, okay, fine. No, shut up, Dad. I'm gonna be a bit tough on you here, don't talk to us like that. Are you serious? Shut up. adults. What's wrong with you, Dad? Yeah, says Hostia. She's on my side, I like that. I'm sorry, I'm confused and afraid. Let me fix all of this. So, Pup, please let us talk for a bit. Victus and I need space. Well, didn't you just call him Pup? So, who are you talking to now exactly? And forgive me, Vena, I do hope you can see you made a mistake. Fine, I'll go, says someone. I'm not 100% sure who said that. Well, that was Hostia. So listen to me, little wolf. We'll be alright. You have your own duty to handle now. Don't surrender to fear. I ain't ready to make this choice. But you are, I trust you. Do what's right. Aw, he's very sad now, I think. Says me. So it's time for us to head to the Inns. Sure, we'll do that. Apparently, now it's fine to go to the inn. So, okay, you know what? I'm gonna say I'm sorry. I might have been a bit tough there, but I can still own up to potential mistakes. So, I'm sorry. A bit. We're opening a fresh cask of cider. Not that you taste the difference. Well, you didn't need to say that. Bloody hell. Alright then, fine, we're back, and here we are, big guy, Calor. You are the ironsmith. He made all the weapons my family owns and came here when he was about 30. Says he learned everything on his own with master. The tools he makes from chitin are weirdly light. Okay, so we have chitin to use, basically a carapace of some sort. So hanging out with the older folks for a change, she says. Well, it's not the first time that happens. So I was drinking with the merchants just the other day. Our little Vena, a serious adult now, so that's Limos. What was he? The fisherman, yes. And there we go, a bit of a chuckle. When did I have the time to be a kid? When did you fell your first prey? He asks. 6 years ago, I hit an otter with my slingshot. Exactly how old am I don't know. A nimble beast, yes indeed. Yeah, used to have quite aim back when I had 2 healthy eyes. Yes, I don't really have that yet, or rather anymore. That other eye is a bit narrow. 6 years, a third of my life. Wait. So I'm 18. There we go. The younger neighbors are at work. Yes, they are as well. My friends are preparing for the worst. The goblins may come any day now. So does it happen often around here? Asks Stapulus. And goblin attacks? Well, goblins or any other monsters. The trolls ate one of Arata's sheep not long ago. So that's Arata, local farmer, also tribe's last sheep, and the noble griffins. Her kids look after the pets of the rich city folk. She rarely visits the village. When only 1 sheep is not going to be enough. You kind of need at least 2, I think. So it's the safest village in the part of the province, protected by guards, rituals, and hunting traps. You'll get used to it. You just got spoiled by the tall city walls, says I. So give it a few years and a limb or 2 and you'll feel at home. And also, by the way, the innkeep is my age, damn it. So Stabs here is about my age, by the way. So judging by your harsh glances, you could be 5 years ahead of me. You're taller than me too, he says. And more muscular, don't forget. Oh, bloody hell. Yes, presumably I am, being a hunter. So flesh is one thing, the soul's another. Easier to mature in the countryside. You say that, potentially that's true. Definitely not a biased perspective. No, not at all. And some, like Calor here, won't ever grow up. Now why would I? I swing a hammer, not give advice to youngsters. And those are not too gentle for us nowadays, says Staples. But how's the river? Any chance at a good catch I could use for a soup? Well, don't expect any grand tales from me. The older I get, the fewer risks I take. It's all nets and fishing rods now. No spears or clubs or saurian bait. You try to... and then basically it's back to me. So you try to pay attention for a while, but hearing the same old tale again makes your thoughts drift away toward... Alright. I'm gonna go with, I think, the goblins, because that's pretty damn serious. So my spear is sharp, but I should check on my boot knife. I should be able to handle a few goblins, right? Dad knows what he's doing. We can also think about the argument back home. Will be a rough night at home. I'll sneak into bed without talking to anyone. I need to rest, but only the no leader is gonna give me that look. Maybe I'll stay here a bit longer, so she's actually over here as well. I see her now. Also, the job offer, yes. So Argentia left the village yesterday, so there we go. We know that the sorceress is not around anymore, but I can still catch a whiff of her plum perfume. Whenever she comes here, she looks like she owns the place, confident, wealthy, gorgeous. Could I find all this in the city? Potentially. And what about my brother's journey then? While I'm here, Victus is preparing for his journey, but it was me who was mental. Can't everything just slow down a bit? I mean, it's been going rather slow anyway, hasn't it? Let's not think about boredom, that seems stupid. Okay, the others are apparently looking at me, being a bit worried almost. That is it. Her head is already resting on a cotton pillow all the way in the city. We were talking about this discussion we'll have with Yudi today. So someone is as good at hunting as you would have no problem teaching Limos how to hold the spear rightly. He's a clumsy, lazy ass. That's a bit harsh. Now you got an issue with my ass? I never. You're actually lovers, I see. I don't really think about hunting all that much. It's a respectable trade, says Stabilus. Whether those are responsibility attached to it, says Limos. And Keller says a duty, some would say, and you've got the talent for it. Maybe I do. That's been teaching me since I was a kid. I've got a strong shell, good for combat, and the sharp senses of my mom. So we're calling our bodies shells. So this is a world where like a reincarnation is a thing. That could be it. Okay, but I feel more myself when I'm home, or with friends, or even here. Even here, have some mercy on my poor inn. What would you rather do then? Well, I would probably like to travel a bit. Could be a mercenary, or a pathfinder, or a roadwarden, or an adventurer. I like to travel to see the wonders of the world. Here, everything is so small. Spouse, no kids? Well, not really, but maybe when I'm older. I mean, family would come once I save enough dragons to provide for them. A family is meant to help you as well, you know, says Stabilus. Well, if everything goes right, sure. Had no such choices to bother with back in my youth. Windymeadow needed food and we ran out of things to forage for, so I started to chase after the meat from the rivers. And when I was a kid, my home village needed someone to fix tools for them. I played around until I got pretty good at it. No one really asked me if I liked it. Well, but I very much did, so that's good for you. How about you, Stabs? Why'd you leave the city's wealth behind? And he says one can't run in there without joining the guild. I'd rather keep the coins my parents left me after breaking their backs at the building sites for 30 years. Thank you. Well, that's kind of smart, actually, yes. So there are no monsters in the city, right? No wrath of the herds. What do we mean by that? The more threatened the animals feel, the more desperate they get, and can even join forces to strike down human settlements. In a few years, we hear stories of another tribe that was overrun by wild beasts, but it doesn't happen around here often. Pretty close to the city walls. Alright then. So there are the gargoyles from time to time, and the creatures underground, but I get what you mean. The truth is there is no air in Veritas. Every inch belongs to someone. Each item has its worth stated in writing, and any steps you take is seen. Sure, there are no robbers, just a few pickpockets, but officials leave you with hardly anything. You'd be close to the merchants, should be a bit more space, just be aware of the sacrifices. I guess if living in a city was pure delight, everyone would try to live there, says Limos. That's presumably true, yes. And those fancy pants may act all high and mighty, but they need our hands more than we need their poems and elixirs. But we do need their soldiers' roads. I mean, says Keller. Or even if we do, will all our children need them? Our grandchildren? In one lifetime we've seen the plague and the southern invasion. I guess so. Change is in the wind, says Stabilus. Yep, no path is really safe, is it? Well, alright then, we had a bit of a chat there. Lovely. And now it's on to day 3. But you know what? I think you probably get the point. Sort of. I'm not 100% sure what's going to happen with all the goblins, etc., etc. But here's Victus and a bunch of lumberjacks. Lovely. So now we are currently on the northern road here up to the city, and there we go. My father and me are telling them to have a safe trip. But yes, this is an interesting game, I gotta say. Haven't really played further than this, so I don't exactly know what's coming or how the game plays later. Is it just choices, or do we get to do some sort of actual gameplay, if you know what I mean. I'm not 100% sure. I could see myself playing this a little bit further just to see where the story goes. And as far as I haven't played, I mean, I think that the writing is fine. It could potentially be a bit much, but I also think that that is how the game is supposed to be, if you know what I mean. I mean, this is a game about a story, just a visualization of a story, instead of just reading it in a book. And as for that, I think it does a good job. The characters are, you know, somewhat interesting, and I assume that this game is sufficiently long enough that we get to know them even more the longer we play. So, yeah, I mean, as for the graphics, it's fine. I kind of like the fact that we have like two different styles. We have the slightly more detailed one, and then we have the more pixelated ones. I mean, the animations aren't top notch for the pixelated versions, but I suppose that's basically a matter of how much time you have to actually do those animations. I think it's fine the way it is. It doesn't necessarily detach, or not detach, but like it doesn't take away much of the experience as far as I can tell. So for a game such as this, I think it does a good job. So if story-driven games are a thing for you, especially I believe games where your choices do matter. I'm not 100% sure if any of the choices that I've made have mattered. Presumably one or two of them must have, but exactly how? No idea really. I mean, presumably how we've handled the thing in our home there at dinner, that would absolutely make some changes, I suppose, potentially. But yes, if anything, any of this catches your fancy, why don't you give it a look? It's an interesting one for sure. For now though, this has been ghostmutgaming with me, Christopher. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.